Morning, guys. How's everybody doing? Let's look at the Altiverse, all the verses, LFGY verse, GBTY verse. Do you guys, if you bought you any GBTY, I really like it. Making a new video on it, but too long don't read is I really like it more so than usual. Anyway, I don't want to ruin the video. So, all right. Well, let's start here with the Altiverse. All right. Well, it looks like the average is down about a quarter point. Alti itself, it looks like it's flat. I can't even see it. It's probably flat. VRT is up. TLN, Talon, Netflix. Netflix has been doing great lately. DJT is up today. Pulling back is Micron, and the semiconductors are pulling back right now. All right, so that's LFGY. Let's check out GPTY. Well, on LFGY, I did want to say, or I'm sorry, on the Altiverse, I know that some people it looks like cash is building back up again. So I'm thinking they might, here's the latest allocations of Alti as of last night, 3.47 cash, and then money markets at almost 4. So maybe they're getting ready to put on another position. They let cash build up to about 10, and then they put on ISRG, and cash came down to about 4 or 5. But they could have also they're also doing other things with their cash. Sometimes they have to settle a losing trade, but in any event, TNA and TQQQ are still the biggest allocations. All right, now on to LFGY. So we'll check out LFGY's allocations first. Or I can find it. All right, LFGY's allocation. So here's how they're allocated as of 5 o'clock last night, or close of business yesterday. 2.96 cash. I don't see a money market in here. Coinbase, MicroStrategies. I'm just guessing. I guess I could take a look at the prospectus. But it looks kind of like it might be cap weighted to me. It could also be momentum weighted, but in any event, it's weighted somehow. It's not equal weighted like some of these funds are. Okay, so that's LFGY's allocation. Now let's check out the LFGY verse. That's doing pretty well. The average constituents up a point. LFGY itself is up about half of that, almost half of that. We'll take it. Clean Spark, Hut doing well. Mara doing well. BitDeer pulling back again. All right, so there's a new kid on the block, a new baby, whatever. GPTY. So they have Apple. They have a covered call. They have AI, which is the C3.ai. That's a covered call spread. AMD covered call. Amazon covered call. They're mostly covered calls. The thing that makes this one unique is what's in the green, and I'll talk about that on my review show. But that appears to be a portfolio level hedge. Instead of buying puts on each individual stock like they do on Alti, they just bought a bunch of puts at the portfolio level that, in theory, should protect about half of the downside. Anyway, be watching my review. It should be out soon. All right, so GPTY, here's how they're doing today. This is the GPTY. Well, these are the GPTY allocations right here. So as of last night, cash is 1.9. That big position in NVIDIA, big position in AI. And that's the rest of their lineup. It's a cast of characters here. I mean, they have Meta, Marvell. They have this Arista Networks. That thing's an incredible growth story, or has been anyway. Who knows if it'll continue to be. All right, so here's the verse, the GPTY verse. So, it's barely down today, it looks like. The average constituents down 17 bips, and GPTY, it looks like it hasn't traded yet. I looked earlier and it didn't look like it really had traded that much, but in any event, it's brand new. It's just the second day out there. So that's great. That's GPTY. Be watching for that show. It should be on soon. Let's look at the index buffer report. What do I always say? What's up the most or down the most? Feet, 5E, SVOL, ZVOL, YMAX, YMAG. So what is it today? Feet, 5E, SVOL, ZVOL. It's not YMAG, but we're going to have to throw LFGY on that list too, and probably GPTY. And GPTY is not on here yet. But anyway, that's par for the course. If you buy those, you're going to get generally more upside on up days, more downside on down days. It's just more volatility. They invest in more volatile stocks, and they're more concentrated. Feet is an extremely concentrated portfolio. It's only 5 stocks. It's only based on 5 underlines. All right. Well, anyway, WDTE is killing it. Look at that. You got to love that, outperforming the parent. It really doesn't matter because the parent's barely moving. But JEPI looks good. Like we talked about, SVOL, ZVOL. YMAX is on the bad list somehow today. Oh, but it is. I do say up the most or down the most. Yesterday, I think YMAX is up the most, and feet for some reason was on the down the most list, even though the market was up for a little while. It was because crypto was pulling back yesterday. Now crypto's back on fire. All right, so that's the index buffer report. Here's the yield max buffer report. Yeah, so feed is pulling back because of Tesla. Tesla's in feed, right? Yeah. All right, so that's putting the hurt to it. That's putting the heart to it. But you can see pretty much everything else across the board's doing well. And look at Netflix killing it. And look at Planeteer, PLTY. I've got to eat some of that. Look at Apple. Now, of course, Apple's been down a bunch, but that might be a good value buy at some point here. If you buy the dip in Apple with Apple, it's not a great way. Forget I said that. You aren't really buying the dip when you play these yield stocks because you're playing for yield and you don't get very much upside. But you do get a little bit of upside. And to the extent that you can get some upside, you could, maybe a person could allocate into Apple soon at some point if Apple will ever make a bottom here. We'll see. Coney looks good today. That's nice to see. What's going on with Tesla? Did Elon say you would do something? Anyway, okay, that's fine. It's too early to get into that. All right, let's look at charts. Let's look at not those kinds of charts. I was looking at a SoFi earnings trade this morning. Well, we're up volatility. This is the second day volatility. Futures have been under the 200-day moving average, so that is long-term bullish. Generally, that when that happens, we can mount a rally like we did in November, early December. When it gets above, it turns into late December and early January, typically. So we'll see if we can stay down here. Now, the SPY today is the story of all these gaps. I look at all these open gaps. These are all places where people wanted to buy, but were not able to. And price, in most cases, has not even returned there yet. But in some cases, like here, when it did return there, they ran the price right out of there. It can act as support. Look at this market here at all-time highs, it looks like. Okay, so now let's look at Tesla, though. What is going on with Tesla? Oh, earnings coming up. Okay, well, all right. Oh, Wednesday, the 29th of January. So, yeah, next Wednesday. Okay. Well, on the chart, it doesn't look that bad. It looks it's only down 0.5%. What is the deal? I've been having problems with this. Gosh darn it. It's only down 0.5%. This is fake news. Oh my gosh. Gosh darn it. All right. I'm sorry about that. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I got to go work on that thing. And anyway, all right. Well, I'm glad that Tesla's not really down. That's awesome. Sorry about the bad information. Sorry about the fake news. I don't know why those spreadsheets can never work. I mean, Google is terrible. I'm thinking about just scrapping every spreadsheet. I mean, they're never right. And I spent 2 hours working on them last night. Anyway, all right, trying to get everything right and make sure everything was there at least an hour and a half. Oil's pulling back a little bit, but it's still way up there. We haven't looked at oil. We need to look at oil every morning. Oil's the story of it's being stuck between support and resistance. It appears to be several supportive gaps underneath the market, and then we just left behind a big bearish gap right here on top of the market. So we'll see who wins. We'll see if the bulls win or if the bears win. The bulls are trying to get it on the other side of this gap, and the bears are trying to get it on the other side. We're trying to get it to sell down through this support. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.